Food is one of the most beautiful parts of our life and one of the most powerful vehicles for change in our world. But we find ourselves at a fundamental turning point in human history, a fork in the road. And we have two options to pursue with regards to how we grow our food, what we grow, and the systems we grow our food within. Here's our choice. Option one is to continue with the current industrialized food system. In this system, we tear down all the trees, we grow one type of crop as far as the eye can see, we pump it full of chemicals that end up on our food. This system is detrimental to the animals that are caught up in it and to the farmers that are a part of it, destroys ecosystems, biodiversity, and the health of our soils. We are now destroying and degrading our soils at such a high rate that according to the United Nations, right now in 2025, we have 50 years of harvests left. 50 years of harvests left. That is within many of our lifetimes. This system is also incredibly vulnerable to extreme weather. We know from interviewing farmers all over the world, across multiple continents and in the United States and red states and blue states, that climate change is not some faraway thing. They are dealing with the effects of extreme weather, droughts, floods, and heat waves today. And the system also directly impacts our health in a negative way because we grow so much corn and soy that it becomes the cheap raw ingredients for processed food. And we know that there is a direct connection between processed food and chronic disease. And right now in the United States, 60% of us, 6 in 10 Americans, have or will have a chronic disease. And this system is also most detrimental to the most vulnerable of us. In the United States, the US school system serves 7 billion meals a year, with a B. That's more meals than the top 3 chains combined. Starbucks, McDonald's, and Subway combined. And we are serving our kids the majority ultra highly processed food. It's clear that the system is broken. It's failing all of us, and we are all victims of it. So as we consider where we are in this moment in time, and we think about the word sustainability, sustainability means keeping the status quo going on indefinitely. But we have too little land with too many people demanding too many resources from that land. So sustainability is not going to cut it anymore. So today I'd like to talk about another future, option two. Option two is something you may have heard of called regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture is the single most important thing that we can do to support our own health, the health of our environment, and the health of our communities. In regenerative farming systems, we humans work with nature to enhance the health of the entire system through time. We become active participants in the stewardship of our earth. What this looks like practically is multiple different types of trees and plants combined together with animals and covered crops to enhance the health of the soil, to build biodiversity, to sequester carbon, to combat climate change, and to focus on animal welfare and the welfare of the farmers. This system that focuses on healthy soils is also the most resilient to climate change. Because of all the deep root systems that are in place and the entire system of the farm, it can withstand drought, floods, heat waves, and actually thrives in some of these crazy conditions. And these same farms that are focusing on healthy soils are also producing the most nutrient-dense, healing food for humans. We know that there is a direct connection between healthy soils, healthy plants, healthy animals, and healthy humans. And you do not need to eat the animals, but they are an integral part of the system. It gets a little bit better. These same farms are also producing the food that is the most flavorful, because the quality of the flavor of a fruit or vegetable or plant comes from the micro and macronutrients in the soil. So healthy soils, healthy farms, healthy plants, healthy people. But if all of this seems new to you, you would not be alone. Even for someone like me, who grew up in the restaurant business and has been involved in the world of food my entire life. Literally, my parents met at culinary school. I studied hospitality in university, and for years I professionally designed, developed, and opened restaurants all around the world. But even for someone like me, I never asked the question, where does food come from? I had never been taught that it may have a bigger impact on the world around us. Not until the first time I met a farmer. 7 years ago, I'm living and working in the Bahamas to open a new restaurant, and I go into the walk-in refrigerator and the produce looks sad and decrepit, and so I asked the hotel to send me to a local farm. I end up meeting a farmer named Sakane. Sakane greets me with big farmer hat, warm smile, this cool machete knife, and we spend hours walking around this farm. And he shares with me the challenges he's facing related to extreme weather, but also his love and passion and joy for providing his community with healthy food. And as we walk around, I ask him, Sakane, with all the challenges you face, what keeps you going? And he said to me something that I will never forget. He said, if I can feed people good quality food, I can change the way they look at food, and in turn, change the way they look at life. Sakane was the first person to explain to me how deeply interconnected our food system is with every aspect of our lives. And in that moment, I thought, man, more people need to meet farmers. So I called my brother, who was a filmmaker. He said, let's film an interview with Sakane the farmer. I said, I have no idea how to do that. He's like, we're going to figure it out, don't worry. So we came back 3 months later. We filmed our first interview with Sakane the farmer about the future of food. And we were so inspired by his outlook, by their perspective, and what we learned, that we would launch a full-scale production company and eventually a documentary focused on the future of food. And with this company and with our film, over the next 8 years, we visited 80 farms, and we interviewed some of the world's leading farmers, climate scientists, nutritionists, educators, policymakers, and chefs, trying to better understand the interconnected nature of our food system, the challenges we face, but also the solutions at hand, and trying to better understand what we as individuals can do to be part of a healthier, more sustainable future. The good news, and there's a lot of good news today, is that we have so many of the solutions already. And we have spent years investigating these issues, and we have solutions all around the world, not just in regenerative farming, but in regenerative systems, in healthcare, in education, and in our own backyards. In agriculture, we have seen countless examples of destroyed, decrepit, degraded land that was farmed with chemicals turned into advanced regenerative sites that are building biodiversity, sequestering carbon, producing healthy food for their communities, and supporting the livelihood of the farmers. We have seen this over and over again all over the world. In healthcare, we have seen hospitals that used to treat sick patients build the first working farm on a hospital campus in the United States, and not only treat and prevent, but reverse chronic disease through the application of whole food plants from healthy soil. This farm has been so successful in this hospital that they are now piloting 5 to 10 more locations in the hospital system. That's right. In education, we have seen what happens when you turn an empty lot next to a school into the biggest regenerative school farm at a public middle school in Santa Monica that our team helped build. Every single kid who goes to this school spends time on the farm every single week learning about where their food comes from. And we have had parents come to us on volunteer days and say, thank you. My child never used to eat green beans. I could not get them to eat a vegetable, and now I cannot get them to stop. I've seen this in my own front yard here in Venice. We're so inspired by all of these people we met along the journey that I decided to turn my front yard into a little garden. Maybe a little bit more than a little garden. Not only has it created biodiversity and attracted butterflies and bees and hummingbirds, and I grow a little bit of food and herbs, but the best part, it has fundamentally changed my relationship with my community. I now stop and chat with people of all different ages and backgrounds and cultures, people who I didn't talk to before, because they stop and want to talk about flowers and growing stuff. It's beautiful, and it has changed my life for the better. But this moment that we are in is about so much more than doing less bad, because the sustainability conversation for so long has been about, how do I drink less of this? How do I eat less of this? How do I drive less of this car? And while those things are important, this moment, this regenerative movement, is about how do we do more good through the food that we eat and the farmers that we support. And we asked all these experts around the world, what are the top things that we can do as individuals to support our own health, to support environmental stewardship, and to support the health of our communities? Number one is when you can, where you can, please show up at your farmer's market. Support your local farmers. Having that direct relationship is immensely powerful for our own health and the health of our communities and the health of our economy. Number two, at your grocery store, look for one of these regenerative labels. Please feel free to take a photo or a screenshot. These third-party certified regenerative labels suggest that the food was grown in a regenerative farming system, and you yourself are helping to participate and steward the earth through supporting this type of food. And the beautiful thing is that you don't need to go into your cupboard or your refrigerator and throw away everything you have. Make one change. And there are more options now than there ever have been to support regenerative food in the grocery store. We're talking about rice, beans, olive oil, yogurt, peanut butter, flour, sugar, eggs, meat, dairy, beer and wine. There are so many options, and there are more and more coming online every single day. Make one small change, and it has a huge impact. There are also increasingly options coming from the ocean, things like kelp and seaweed and oysters and bivalves and certain fish grown in regenerative systems. And yes, oceans play a key part in a regenerative future. So in addition to voting with our dollars, there's a couple other things that we can do as individuals to support a healthier ecosystem and a healthier life. Number one is to eat more plants. We know that plant-based foods have a lower environmental impact than their alternative, and we know from longevity experts all around the world that getting more plants into your diet is essential for a long, happy life. Next, grow some food and flowers. No, you don't have to rip up your entire lawn, but if you can, where you can, a little basil plant in your window, some flowers in the front yard, changes our relationship with the natural world. Cook and eat together. This is one of my favorites. We know that when you prepare food together, you have a different relationship with those ingredients and the people that grew that food. In general, it's a lot healthier for you. And we also know from longevity experts around the world that the people that live the longest, happiest lives are the ones that sit and eat together. Finally, reduce food waste and compost. This is one of the lowest hanging fruits, environmentally speaking. Instead of our food scraps going to the landfill and contributing to climate change, they become jet fuel to help feed our gardens and our farms. This is quite a moment we are in. And if I've learned anything over the past couple years, it is that we are powerful. You are powerful. When we vote with our dollars, that is one of the most revolutionary acts that we can make. And eventually, businesses, large and small, listen to what we have to say. Walmart never used to serve organic milk until moms from across this country wrote to them in such great numbers that they not only started serving organic milk, they eventually became the largest distributor of organic produce in the entire country. We are powerful. So as we stand at this momentous turning point in human history, I invite you to get to know a farmer. I invite you to start asking questions about where your food comes from. I invite you to pursue flavor, to get your friends and family together around the table. We have no more time to waste. Now is the time for the food revolution. Thank you.